Var had traveled across half the galaxy chasing mysteries few humans dared to explore. But nothing had prepared him for the encounter with Lyra, the alien girl who seemed delicate yet carried a warning that sent shivers down his spine. He first met her on the crystalline plains of Zephyr 9, a planet known for its luminous night skies and strange gravitational quirks. Torin had been hired by a wealthy collector to retrieve exotic creatures for his private research lab. But when he landed near the glowing cliffs, he didn't find animals, he found Lyra. Her skin shimmered like molten silver, her eyes glowing faintly with an unearthly light. She moved with a grace Torin had never seen. As he approached, he noticed she was staring at a small device in his hand, a bioadaptive scanner, something used to check compatibility with alien species. "Stop," she said softly, but her voice carried a power that made Torin freeze mid-step. "Multiple mates, your tool won't survive it." Torin frowned. He had traveled light years dealing with strange species and high-risk operations, but this warning felt different. It wasn't just caution, it was desperation, mixed with fear. "I don't understand," Torin said cautiously, lowering the device. "I'm here to study, not harm." Lyra's gaze softened slightly, but her tone remained urgent. "The challenge you think is simple, it is impossible. One touch, one bond, and the consequences are permanent. To try more than once would destroy you." Torin's curiosity flared. Humans were wired to push boundaries, to explore the impossible. Yet, something in Lyra's eyes, bright, intelligent, and yet profoundly serious, made him pause. He had never met an alien so cautious about interaction, so aware of the dangers. "I've handled dangerous species before," Torin said, trying to sound confident. "I can handle this too." Lyra shook her head. "It's not your strength. It's your tool, the essence of your being. You do not survive the attempt." Despite the warning, Torin's explorer instincts took over. "Then show me," he challenged. Lyra looked at him for a long moment, weighing whether he was worthy of even one attempt. Finally, she extended her hand. "One. That is all you get. Choose carefully. One mate, one connection. After that, nothing remains of what you were." Torin hesitated, then took her hand. A surge of warmth rushed through him. It wasn't just physical, it was mental, emotional. The connection was unlike anything he had experienced. Images, feelings, flashes of Lyra's memories and emotions poured into him. He saw her world, her fears, her joys, and the pain of her species' dying planet. The sensation was overwhelming, and for the first time in his life, Torin felt completely vulnerable. Minutes or maybe hours passed before the surge faded. He collapsed onto the glowing sands, breathless, exhilarated, terrified. Lyra knelt beside him, her eyes scanning his form. "You survived," she whispered, almost in disbelief. "Few have ever survived the first connection." Torin smiled weakly. "I told you. I can handle this." Lyra's gaze hardened. "This is only the beginning. Others will come, drawn by your kind's reckless curiosity. And if they do what you did, none will survive. None." The warning hung in the air like a storm cloud. Torin's mind raced. Could he warn humanity? Could he explain a danger that even advanced science could not measure? Suddenly, the ground beneath them shivered. Small, crystalline creatures, native to Zephyr 9, began to swarm. They were harmless alone, but in numbers, they could immobilize even a seasoned explorer. Torin instinctively reached for his scanner, but Lyra pushed his hand away. "Do not use it here," she shouted. "They are sensitive to your energy. Even a pulse will destroy them." Torin froze, realizing the stakes. Every tool, every piece of technology he carried could harm this delicate ecosystem. And yet, Lyra trusted him enough to let him navigate it without interference. Step by step, they moved through the glittering fields. Torin followed Lyra's lead, marveling at how her knowledge of the terrain was instinctive. She was small, but powerful in ways he could not yet comprehend. As they reached the edge of a glowing cliff, Lyra stopped. "Here," she said. "The next stage begins. The challenge is not just survival, it's endurance. You will be tested by connection, by temptation, by the limits of your being. Torin glanced down at the valley below. Energy streams pulsed through the air, crackling with intensity. It was beautiful, and deadly. "What is this?" he asked. "This is where my people chose their mates," Lyra explained. "It is called the trial of resonance. Only those who can endure the connection survive. All others are lost. Not just here, but within themselves. Their tool, their essence, destroyed by overreach." Torin swallowed hard. The warning had been clear. The stakes were beyond anything he had faced. And yet, he felt an irresistible pull, not just toward Lyra, but toward the challenge itself. Humans were explorers. They thrived on impossible odds. "Then we do this together," he said. Lyra hesitated. "It is not meant for two," she whispered. "But, if you insist, I will guide you." The moment he stepped into the energy streams, the air vibrated. Colors danced around him, and a voice, Lyra's voice, and perhaps his own thoughts echoed through the chamber. It asked questions, tested his resolve, teased his desires. Each wave of energy threatened to overwhelm him, but he held on. Lyra joined him, her hand finding his again. The resonance between them stabilized the energy, creating a bridge, a path that would allow them to endure without destruction. Together, they navigated the trials, illusions that tempted him, visions of multiple mates that threatened to break his focus, and whispers of power that beckoned him to abandon caution. Hours passed, or maybe moments. Torin had lost all sense of time. And then, finally, the energy stream subsided. He looked at Lyra, and she smiled, faint and tired. "You survived," she repeated, this time with genuine admiration. "Most do not." Torin laughed, a sound of relief and exhilaration. "I told you," he said. "I can handle the impossible." Lyra shook her head, but her eyes sparkled. "You are different. Few humans understand the true weight of connection. But now you know, and you are changed forever." Torin nodded, feeling the depth of the bond they shared. It was more than survival, more than curiosity. It was a connection that would echo through his mind, his body, and his soul. As they left the crystalline plains, Torin glanced at Lyra. "Will I survive another trial?" he asked, half joking, half serious. Lyra's eyes darkened. "Impossible," she said softly. "Multiple mates, your tool will not survive. Remember that." Torin smiled, knowing the warning, respecting it, but also feeling a thrill he had never known. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers, wonders, and impossible challenges, and he had faced one of the greatest. And for the first time, he realized that surviving the impossible was not just about skill, strength, or intelligence. It was about connection, trust, and respect for forces far beyond human understanding. The stars above Zephyr 9 twinkled in silent applause. Torin and Lyra walked side by side, explorers of a bond that defied the odds, and a story that only the brave would ever know.